If I'm being so for real, this might be one of the freakiest series we're gonna cover. Hey guys, welcome back. If you missed my last recap video, you may have missed, or if you didn't hear, that My Inner Demons is getting a season 2. If you have no idea what My Inner Demons is, it's basically just another timeline or technically I guess a different universe in the Aphmau MCU. But instead of like Mifwas and werewolves, there's demons from another world called Daemos, and they come to this universe to basically take the souls of humans. So it's a little different premise, definitely not as complicated as the My Street timeline, I'll tell you that much, or the Diaries timeline. Anyways, it got announced that it's getting a season 2, and I personally loved this series. It's so good, it's so silly, it's so definitely like I could see it as like an anime. So I wanted to cover it and kind of do a quick recap of the first season of My Inner Demons, because it is peak. So we open up on a planet called Daemos, where their population is demons, basically. And we open up to 5 of those demons. Ash, who is the prince of Daemos. Then we have Rise, his like almost second in command / just like the smart one of the group. Pierce, who's like more of the buff soldier of the group. He's like the quiet, silent, quiet. He's like the Mori of the group, I guess you could say. Then we have Leaf, who's insane. And then we have Noi, who's like the nicer, quiet one, who is like the soft baby of the group. So when we open up with them, the episode starts and they're capturing the last soul, which is like the last human soul on the Daemos planet. And they meet up with Lady Grandma, which is Ash's grandmother, but they all call her Lady Grandma. I'm not gonna get into it. They basically use the last soul to open up a portal to another world where they're basically planning to take over as best they can so they can bring Daemos, their population, onto that world and get more human souls to save the magic of Daemos. We do find out that these 6 are doing this without the kingdom's consent. So basically they took and killed the last human soul on Daemos without telling anyone. So it's gonna cause a major havoc, but we're also learning that Ash is willing to do this and to go to Earth, because if he doesn't, he's gonna have to do something else on Daemos as his like, it's his mission or it's his purpose, but they're making it like really vague and not exactly saying what he has to do. So he decides, you know what? I'd rather take my chances on Earth, as they call it.
Earth, it shall be mine.
And so he and his squad book it, and they go to Earth to try to see if it's good to bring Daemos on there. So cutting away from them as they're entering Earth through the portal, I'm gonna call it Earth, but we all know I'm talking about Earth. We meet this universe's Aphmau basically, but instead of Aphmau, she goes by Ava. So Ava, it's like 7 in the morning. She doesn't want to get up. She has a job interview that morning at the grocery store, so she's running behind. So she gets up really fast, runs out, but then as she's taking out her garbage, she runs into the 5 Daemos boys. Now, the Daemos boys, they are not used to like the Earth's atmosphere, I guess, so they're like on the ground passed out, and Ash is like knocked out. And so Ava sees this and she's like, oh my god, are you all right? And she goes up to him. Oh, by the way, before we continue, if you're wondering how they like walked out with those looks that they have on and didn't look suspicious somehow, it's actually because conveniently there is a convention happening down the street from where this is all taking place. So everyone who saw them were like, oh, they're just cosplayers.
Show no mercy.
Anyway, so Ava goes up to Ash and she's like, oh my god, are you all right? And then she starts giving him CPR because he's not breathing, and all of them freak out, but like she saves him and she's like, oh, thank god you're okay. But they all take this as like a threat. And so to, I guess, calm the threat, Ash tells Pierce to like hang her from the tree by like her hoodie. And so he just puts her up on the tree and they leave her there, and she's pissed. They walk away from her, leaving her hanging there from a tree, but then they end up coming back because they don't know like where they're going, and also they're like kind of nervous, so they're like, we need to take a human prisoner. And so they go and they take Ava as their like human prisoner. But Ava's like pissed off because she's like, you pay me for my tree and made me late for a job interview. Like, F y'all. I'm not gonna help you. But then Ash gets mad and throws a real fireball at her, and then she freaks out and faints because she can't believe it happened and it's real. And so Ava's cat ends up leading them and her to her apartment. I don't know, this is a magical universe, and they end up breaking in and like start looking around. So they start looking around the apartment, like not really knowing what is going on, and Ava is like passed out on the couch, and she wakes up to them going through all of her stuff, and so she screams and runs away because it's like, oh my god, 5 strange men are in my house. But then they're like, we're not gonna hurt you, we just want your help. And they find, okay, wait, hold on. So while Ava's freaking out with a frying pan being like, I'm literally gonna kill y'all, you're in my apartment, Ash comes out and he's like, guys, she's a sorcerer. And they're like, what? Or he's like, I found the source of her power. And he holds up a bra. And it's so stupid.
What?
But this bit goes on for like the whole season. So with that, they believe she's a sorcerer, a powerful one, and they're like, please help us. And they lie to her saying like, oh, we just want to bring our people to your world because our world is dying, not telling her, oh yeah, we need human souls to survive. So they lie to her, but she doesn't know that, and she doesn't want them on her back. So she's like, you know what? I know who can help y'all. So she brings them to the government. Just kidding. She brings them to like City Hall, and she's like, they can help you. And she leaves them there like, whatever, they're off my back now. But then they like cause a havoc in the middle of the park, and so she's like, fine, just come with me. And so they end up just staying in her apartment. That's like the setup for the season and how they end up staying with her, and basically saying like they just want to learn about the human world and like the human norms. And so throughout the season, she basically teaches them what it's like to wear human clothes, what it's like to do human things like go to the movies, go to a festival, to have a crush, being sick, all those, you know, typical, I guess, things about being a human. So also throughout the season, Rise has been checking in with Lady Grandma back on Daemos, basically giving her updates about how their mission is going, and he tells her all about what he's learning from Ava. But then she also tells him like, hey, people are noticing y'all are gone because time moves faster on Daemos than it does on Earth. Also in this season, we meet Ava's friend, or kind of her friend, I don't really know. Ava doesn't really claim any friends, but we meet Lorelai, who's Ava's friend from high school. Well, Lorelai thinks they're more so friends than Ava does. So throughout this season, we also meet Ava's parents. She has 2 dads, and one of them is actually the mayor of their city. They are super worried about Ava as well, getting out of the house and making friends. So they come to check on her one day, and they see her and all these guys, and they're like, girly, what's happening? One thing leads to another. They believe that Noi is her boyfriend, and then one other thing leads to another when they're on like a date with her parents, Noi and her. All the boys think that she is actually a princess and they're like, oh my god, one of us has to marry her to claim Ear. So from a crazy turn of events, now all of them are trying to marry her. But yes, there are a lot of funny bits from them thinking that she is a princess and her dads are like the kings of Earth, and so they're now scared of them and they're 911 soldiers.
We've given you no clear explanation of the situation at hand. Allow me to explain. We are all the boyfriends of Ava.
Wait, what?
Another character we meet, oh my god, I can't forget about her, Mrs. Oates. I love Mrs. Oates. She's an older lady who lives downstairs below Ava in the same apartment building, and sometimes will give Ava a few jobs to do to give her a little bit of money. But Mrs. Oates, she a little freak. She a little freak because every time she sees Ava and these guys, or like hears them, there's always
Do something.
Oh, spicy.
And every time I was like, Mrs. Oates, this is a kids show, but it's not. Mrs. Oates is top 10 favorite Aphmau characters, and I stand by that. She's so funny. So as the season goes on, they get into all these different types of shenanigans, as they do, turning from basically wanting to kill Ava to take over Yrf to becoming closer to her, and now they all have a soft spot for her by the end of the season. However, remember when I said people were noticing back on Daemos that they were missing? Yeah, and that's coming to bite them in the butt. So Lady Bish, who's another lady of the court and is not very fond and does not trust Lady Grandma, she has been investigating all of this the whole time, and so she's able to make another portal to Yrf to send a soldier out to go rescue Ash. Did I say rescue? I'm sorry, not rescue. Forcefully bring him home and force him to meet his fate, basically. So this soldier from Daemos goes through the portal and he sees Ava. Well, first off, he steals some random guy's clothes, and then he sees Ava taking out the trash. Of course, this is how they always find her. This is the second time he sees her taking out the trash, and he's like, "Hey, miss, I really need help." Really suspiciously, by the way, he says that. And she's like, "Yeah, of course," without hesitation. Like, completely has put her guard down since meeting them. She brings him back to her apartment, and all the Daemos guys are like, "Oh my god, like, he's here. Like, we don't trust him." They know what's going on. They sense him coming in, and she still has no clue what's happening. So she goes, gets him like a phone charger or something, and they have like a deep standoff in the kitchen. Like, they know what he's here for. But then he ends up threatening Ava, and they all go, "Oh my god, like, stop, like, don't hurt her, don't hurt her." And this is where Ava finds out the real reason why they're there on Earth, not to bring their people over from Daemos. They actually want to take the souls from humans. And she's like, "Oh my god, I've been helping y'all the whole time." And she starts freaking out, losing her mind. I would have too. Then suddenly the soldier, he throws down a potion to teleport all of them back to Daemos. But right as they're about to leave, Rise goes up to Ava and he like puts a spell on her, I think, saying like, "This won't hurt that much." And then suddenly, poosh, they're all back on Daemos. So all of them landed in the same spot. However, she did not, because she's a human. So I think they think the potion had a different effect on her, but it cuts to her and she now has horns. She has devil horns. And everyone's like, "Oh, is she a demon?" Someone ends up finding her on the steps of the palace. That's where she landed, all beat up and bruised, suddenly with horns on. And so they pick her up and they take her into the castle. But that's where the season ends. And it's been ended like that for like 5-6 years now. So a season 2 is needed. Desperately. I gotta know what happens. I have theories. One of my theories is I don't think she's like a demon now. I think Rise gave her some type of cover-up spell to make her just have horns. Or maybe she is. I don't know. But I was thinking like, there's no way. I don't know how he would have given that to her without it being. I think he just gave her like the look of a Daemos, but didn't give her like the powers of Daemos. I think they're gonna tell the Daemos people about her on Earth and like her status, and possibly try to sell her as like being super important to keep her alive. That's another one of my theories. I feel like there's gonna be some type of like marriage conflict about in season 2, possibly with Ava and Ash. I have no clue. Honestly, I could see so many different ways this series going after a season 1 like this, because the season 1, it's so fun, silly, and I think it can stay fun and silly, but I have a feeling it's gonna take the My Street route and get a little more serious, which I'm kind of down for, because there's a lot of hidden lore that I don't think we've gotten into about the My Inner Demons world yet, and I'm hyped. Anyways, I love My Inner Demons. It's like, I think my second favorite series from Aphmau after My Street. It is peak. I want to get the poster so bad. I need more merch for them. If you've never seen My Inner Demons, I highly recommend it. Go watch it. It has a little bit more of adult themes and adult jokes in it that are thrown in, unlike My Street, which doesn't really get those until later on. I think this one has a perfect blend of being, you know, like a silly Minecraft roleplay, but also having serious, deep lore intertwined with it. And it's also just like great production quality, honestly. So again, peak, highly recommend. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this silly little talk about My Inner Demons. I'm hyped about the new season coming, if you can't tell. And now I have to rewatch all of Minecraft Diaries. So I will see you next year. Bye-bye.